Hi, this is Roseanne with Sylphia Speaks, and I am making my second podcast. As you can tell, I still have a little bit of congestion going on. It was quite a bit of clearing that needed to be done through this energy portal, especially coming out of my own huge undertaking that I did, going through school and everything. Notice that I don't really use editing software because I really want everything to come through pure, the energy to be exactly as it is, and that you may feel and receive everything that you need to from this podcast each time you listen to it. Today, I was guided to talk about energy healing, medicine, and practitioners. And I'm not quite sure how it's going to come together, but I do have a picture in my mind of what I'm supposed to talk about. And when I say, I'm guided to, it's usually that I have come into this place now where it is me, my guides, and everything else is all the accumulation of self. Because that's what we learn as we journey, is that all things come back to self. Everything that we have done on coming to this earth has been to, come back to self. So when I say that my guides or that I'm guided to, it's really that I was guided in this moment to have enough strength to come through and speak, have my voice heard. Practitioners. We have been elevating. There was a humongous wave of practitioners around 2019, a little earlier than that, and since then, still amping forward, that came in and started learning energy medicine. At that time, it was because there was a vibrational calling from the realms. What I mean by the realms is wherever it is that you are reaching out and receiving from. If, in your contract, blueprint, your story, that you created before you came to this existence here, was to tap into galactic, tap into elemental, tap into dragon, tap into nothing, just have this inner knowing. So something was pushing for more. Maybe you had gone through some own health crisis or somebody near you, and you felt like this is not enough. This physical medicine or whatever is not enough. And so you began researching, what is energy medicine? What is it about it? And maybe you've seen that, in your journey, you also came into meditation, and with meditation, you received multiple ways of using the energy medicine that you've been learning about from practitioners, from teachers, and use it in your own way. But yet you feel like, oh, am I supposed to do this? Well, I'm here to tell you, yes. Yes. The biggest thing that I try to speak to everyone is there is no wrong way of doing it. We are in a new space where the gatekeeping, it needs to be done this way, does not exist anymore. It's like as if the shackles have been thrown off, the veils have been lifted. If your guidance, if your intuition tells you, I can use energy medicine, I can visualize it in this way, I can use this angelic energy, I can use this dragon energy to assist, blah, 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 you do it. You do it because it's your truth. So my gifts work as, and I use these words and they're so, it's very fluid. I say gifts, but are they gifts or are they just something that all of us have, but we've been deprogrammed to not be able to tap in, right? So if I say gifts, is it really that I have special gifts? No, I think everybody has these abilities, But as we tap into these quote unquote gifts, we then see different levels of how we can heal people, or how we can use the healing that's coming through. I'm going to back up a little bit and talk again about, so I kind of got off track for a second because I'm almost hearing like a download of information they want me to speak. And so I hate when this happens, because then I start to get where I lose my train of thought. So give me a half a second here to recalibrate. I want to speak about that we are multidimensional beings, right? Meaning that our energy has come from layers upon layers upon layers, because existence has been this vast now. And so therefore, what may come through me may not be the same thing that comes through for someone else and someone else and someone else. That's why sometimes one healer is your key as opposed to another healer. Now, reeling back to the energy healing, medicine, and practitioners that I wanted to speak about. So if you have been studying healing, you will notice that the across the board accepted terms are usually Reiki, acupuncture, acupressure, to be homeopathic, or to be, an herbalist. These are some of the accepted things. So a lot of times we will label ourselves as such to have people find us. So here's where I get to medicine. Many, many, many of us in this journey of energy medicine have also come to find that there is energy through everything. And we, in our meditations, in our spirit walking is when you, that's another label. It just basically means you're out in nature, you're communing with animals. Communing meaning like, you could be in a central park. You're just getting out there. You're getting to know the energy of the grass, of the plants, of the animals, the birds. You're starting to listen to the birds. You're hearing what they have to say vibrationally. You're deep within self, and you're finding that common thread that created all things, and through that you now can hear what they're saying, because there's multi layers of information in everything. So at that point, when you are learning about the plants around you, you discover that everything I ever needed is right here in my backyard, or in my, side yard, or my friend's yard, or wherever it is that you live around. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. There's that plantain that I've been reading about that takes care of cough, takes care of fever, takes care of, cuts, open wounds, and disinfecting, and fungals and whatnot. Oh my goodness, there's that ground ivy, people call it creeping Charlie, that regenerates the lungs. Oh my goodness, there's mint, that's for sleep, that's for calm. There's lemon balm, anxiety. You start to see these things, but yet you're still an energy healer, right? So you think to yourself, how can I create something to harness this? And maybe at this point in time, you also started working with crystals, and you notice yourself that, hey, wait a minute, these crystals, so this crystal here has the vibration of healing. This crystal here can help with blood. This crystal here can help with a fever reducer. This has been known that, it'll work on this or that or whatnot. And if you intuitively feel something in a crystal, that crystal could have been placed in a place where it received the healing knowledge for that specific thing. And don't discredit what you feel, because your intuition is correct. It is what it is. You're pulling it through. So an example of that would be For me, howlite, I meditated with howlite, and I felt this could be used as a bracelet on my left arm for crowd control. If I'm in a crowd, it dissipates the energy of the crowd, and it makes it easier for me to navigate within that much energy. And I sat with a pillar, or like a tower of howlite, and I felt the Christ conscious energy. And I had a beautiful experience with that. So, but other people have not felt that with this type of crystal, So I go back to what I was saying. You've now, as this energy healer started to dive into plants, maybe sound, maybe the crystals and whatnot, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to create something healing, medicine. And now here you are creating maybe a tincture or a balm or a salve or a tea, a dry mix of herbs, And you create this thing, and I'll give an example of like myself. I created tinctures, and I used pure olive oil for some, and the same thing with alcohol, with vodka base, because some people can receive healing from the vodka and some people can receive healing from the oil. It's a preference. And so in creating that thing, knowing, like, I can example of stinging nettle and mint. Stinging nettle is perfect for pain relief. There's a bunch of other things too, but this is what I was using it for. And I infused it in some mineral oil, organic mineral oil, because mineral oil is very pure and it's thin and it can be rubbed in very easily. And so this was what I was making for pain. And I also made a vodka tincture of the same thing for those who need a drop or two. And then I procured it in such a way where I harvested the plant without using machines or metal. I used my own energy to harvest it, and therefore that kept the plant holy. Holy, is that a weird word? It kept the plant pure. It kept it in its highest form. And then I brought it into the home and I dried it in brown paper bag. I didn't use heat. I didn't use light. I used, quiet time to dry it. When you start using heat and everything, you start breaking down the essence of it. You break down the physical healing properties. And then, in turn, when those things were dry, I put packed my mason jars with the herbs and poured the oil in one and the vodka in the other. And then with time, I let it infuse itself. And again, not heat, not breaking anything down, keeping it as pure of an essence as from when it was pulled from the yard, harvested from the yard. Of course, everybody has their own way of doing it. I had a grateful heart because I was so grateful that I had these things in my own yard that I knew in every bit of my mind that it was going to help. So then I thought to myself, aha, as I'm creating this, I'm thinking of the healing that is happening. I'm thinking of the person that's going to receive this and all the things that rubbing it into the body can do. And stinging nettle has more than just the pain relief, but I put that sort of at the top of my mind, and then all the other things that go with it. Thinking also of the other attributes of it, if I remember correctly, I actually have things written down because when you start learning so much, it sometimes is difficult to recall everything. And so don't let anybody, this is my disclaimer, like, don't let anybody tell you like, oh, you don't remember, come on. This is, anyway. Stinging nettle is also good for just the muscles themselves, regeneration. Stinging nettle is good for a diuretic. Stinging nettle is good for fertility. It's good for, when you're producing milk after pregnancy. There's a bunch of things it can also do. And then mint, mint. I had a mint carrier in there because mint is a high vibration to me. Mint makes it taste better. And I have a whole lot of mint in my yard, so I always try to add a little bit of that. It's almost like, when you go to the store and you get a little extra piece of candy or something like that, or it's like a little extra blessing. So when I was creating these tinctures, the oil to rub into the skin or into the muscle or whatever, my energy was thinking about the healing vibration necessary for the healing of this product, in this thing I'm creating. I was thinking about the person's, because of course every one of my beginning tinctures or balms or salves or oils came because somebody needed something. So I didn't necessarily think of the one person, but I thought of the ailments that it will help, Then, so that's the energy healing coming into the actual jars that you're creating, like your original starter jars, your big mason jars or whatever that you're using, whatever craft it is that you're using. Then I went through my crystals and I said, which ones of you resonate or vibrate this same energy? And then I would surround my tinctures with the energy of these crystals. And then when it was time for, the last few days of the tincture before it was really ready to go, and I could tell by the colors, like I would pull it out, I would look at it in the sunlight, I wouldn't keep it in the sunlight, but I would hold it up and I would look at it, I would feel into it, my intuition, right? And then I would actually take it and I would veil it so it wouldn't be like damaged or heated by the sun. And I would put it in the elements for a short period of time to receive the chirping of the birds, that's sound medicine, the wind blowing, sound medicine, the energy of the sun and the earth itself, and then bring it inside after like 45 minutes or so, and then outside again in the evening. And it doesn't have to be full moon. It doesn't have to be, anything, any type of moon, because the moon is the moon is the moon. It's always there. It's just if it's bouncing or not bouncing the light of the sun, right? So for a different type of vibration, the night creatures, the night, that's again vibrational sound medicine, and so all of this went into the tinctures that I made, the oils, the salves, the balms, whatever, the creation of it. And then when it was time to bottle, everything was bottled when I was in a place of gratitude, and I'm so thankful that I'm doing this. I can't wait to see how it works, how quickly it will resolve the person's problem, just gratitude, happiness, humbleness, that I have learned these things. Okay, so all of that explanation why, if you yourself are a healer, if you're starting your journey, if these are things that you feel are your truth, but you're pulling away from certain things because someone else is saying that's not right, you have to do it this way. That's not true. It's not true. Your belief is your strongest ally, is your power. Like I said, each one of us are multi universal dimensional beings. We come from every corner of the galaxy, every dimension, every realm, every place. Together, the energy comes together, and it comes down to this place and time right now. And your gifts are necessary in the way that you bring them to the table. So it does not matter to follow a procedure. It is good to learn every bit you can from other healers. Of course it is, because maybe it unlocks more keys. They call them keys and codes, right? It unlocks more that you already know within your soul, within your spirit, within your energy, right? That you already have in there for you to bring out. Now, if you're hearing this and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I need to get myself this medicine. I've been sick for a long time, and I've heard this podcast because I'm wanting to know about energy healing medicine and practitioners. I say to you, find someone who does the tinctures, who makes the stuff at home by themselves quietly, even if it's expensive, because that medicine, in my opinion, from what I have seen over quite a few years now, will work better than anything you can buy that's mass produced. If you feel like, oh yeah, I've heard about that plantain, oh that's supposed to work for fever reducing and coughs and colds, I'm going to get some. And you get it from a manufacturer that, harvests with a reaper, rips it out of the ground and then chops it all up and then heats it to dry it and then heats it to make the oils or the tinctures, you're missing out on about 90% of the healing properties. And there has been no human that has been touching it and lovingly procuring it and putting their energy and channeling in the healing that you need in that moment, because everything happens for a reason. So look for Etsy shops, look for people on Marketplace, look for your friends and family in town, and you will receive the best healing from them, because they're the ones that are taking it slowly and with their full heart and energy and really putting thought into it. And sometimes, you could get something online for $9.99 and maybe the healer down the block is charging $40, but 3 drops from the $40 healer is the same as a whole bottle for that $9.99, and I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that because I've seen it, I've felt it, I've received it. I myself don't have certain herbs and things by me, so I will employ or ask friends from all over America to create something for me, and then I receive it, and just holding it in my hand, I can feel how beautifully powerful it is, and I know for sure, without a doubt, that this is going to help me, and it has. Every single bit has. If it's been oil for protections, quote unquote protection. I do this because I'm in public and I'm a feeler. I feel way too much than I should. And sometimes wearing an oil that a friend has made will help quiet some of that. A healer friend I knew had something that would help with some skin issue. It worked immediately. So, okay, I'm going off on this really long tangent, a 22-minute podcast. Wow, this is my biggest one yet. But this was about energy healing, medicine, and practitioners. So my final thought on all this is energy healing. Yes, if you've started, good, keep going. Trust in your own intuition. You don't have to follow strict rules. Learn everything you can. Receive all the attunements you can. Pay for them. It's energetic exchange. Be everything you possibly can be. Medicines, any type of tinctures, oils, whatever that you're looking for. Look for small people, not mass producers. Find your local people. Find your friends and pay the money, because it is really, really, it works. It's more powerful that way. It really works better that way. There is some truth in it, and the price completely is smaller than the greatness that is in these bottles. And practitioners, find your practitioners. Find those people who, when you're looking for these tinctures or these medicines and things, find if they say Reiki, or if they say, some type of energy medicine, Christic healing, angelic healing, any of those certifications, you will see that your medicine comes with so much more. So I thank you so much for listening to my full podcast. Have a great morning, evening, wherever you're at, and I will talk to you again soon.